Have you ever stopped and wondered what defines us as a country? How are we known to other countries? That is what Australian identity is. Australian identity is a very significant way for Australians to be noticed by other countries and how we present ourselves as a cohesive whole. These characteristics can be understood as defining us as individuals or a society and may be cultural, traditional, religious, etc. Religious. They are as diverse as our imagination. In Australia, the religious, cultural, and ethnic complexity of our society is particularly diverse due to approximately 500 different groups or nations around the continent, many with distinctive cultures, beliefs, cuisines, and languages. Multiculturalism relates to Australian identity due to immigration policies and laws, equality, and the society that provides diversity. Australia begins a scheme for immigration from Europe. This was a key event to add to Australia's identity through immigration. Neighbours by Tim Winton is a short story that is taught to Australian high school students. Written in 1985, the story goes to describe Australia's stereotypes in community, but especially in multiculturalism and diversity. This can be seen in lines such as, "The street was full of European migrants." It made the newlyweds feel like foreigners in foreign land. Next door on the left was a Macedonian family. On the right, a widower from Poland. And lines such as, "Greek women stopped the young woman in the street, pulled her skirt up and felt her belly, telling her it was bound to be a boy." These lines displayed the different cultures present in a typical Aussie suburb. Over the next 30 years, more than 2 million people arrived, about one-third of them from Britain, and thousands from Italy. Oh, I'm just recording. That's right. Greece and Germany. Wait. Over the next 30 years, more than 2 million people arrived, about one-third of them from Britain, and hundreds of thousands from Italy, Greece, and Germany. For many people, they now call Australia home. They found refuge in their new place, but it's still brought over their culture, traditions, and way of life. This is why Australia is commonly referred as a melting pot of different cultures. The British continue to be the majority with 67.4% of the population. This is followed by other European ethnicities: Irish 8.7%, Italian 3.8%, and German 3.7%. Those of Chinese ethnicity represent 3.6% of the population, and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people are only 3%. On the other hand of diversity is the complications that rise from it. 1 in 5 Australians has experienced racism in the last 12 months, according to one of the biggest ever surveys conducted on racism and prejudice in Australia. Commissioned by SBS with the Western Sydney University, Australia's population is predicted to hit a record of 25 million within days. According to the country's Bureau of Statistics, but partially due to an arrival of immigrants, among them more than 500,000 Australian residents who were born in China. In the 1997 movie The Castle, the wedding of Tracy and Con brings in the accepting of a new multicultural family. Daryl has a small shot at the Greek family by saying every father wants his to marry one of their own. Obviously, Daryl meant that the Greek family was not part of their own Australian culture, so he just had a little shot at them. The Cronulla riots was a dark time for immigrants that called Australia a safe haven. The people of Australia displayed hate towards people of Middle Eastern Chinks who were Chinese and Jewish appearance. To conclude, I reckon that Australia is known for its diversity positively, as it now works as a conventional society. The Castle, a movie released in 1997, which I used in paragraph 2, Directed by Rob Sitch, it depicts a typical Aussie suburb. In the suburb, there is a man called Farouk, whom the family loves and fights for. These different cultures represent themselves in sport, music, and academics, and are an achievement that all should be proud of. The people of this country love sushi, curry, and pizza, right? Where were these delicacies created? In Australia? Nah, I don't think so. This is why Australia is known for its multiculturalism, and plays a significant role in Aussie identity. Thank you. Yeah, peace out. Yeah, I did.